On this week's show, the Disney Starter Pack, 2.0 Power Disc, and getting immortalized in Disney Infinity. All this and more on episode 55 of the Inside Infinity podcast.
What's up, guys? This is John Vignacchi, executive producer on Disney Infinity, and you are listening to Inside Infinity, the first official Disney Infinity podcast on the net.
What's up, everyone? This is Will with the Inside Infinity podcast, DisneyInfinity.tv, bringing you another fantastic episode of the Inside Infinity podcast, which I just said twice. Here's the thing, guys. I'm already a little bit discombobulated because I forgot our awesome new introduction I added every other video, and so I had to call that out. I'm going to try to pull that up for those that haven't seen it yet, just so we can get in the show later. So joining me tonight on my right, co-hosting Mr. Lloyd Hannison from VGPodcast.com. How are you doing tonight, Lloyd?
I am doing amazing, Will. I just got back from vacation. Unfortunately, it wasn't as cool a vacation as you two, but I had some fun too. But not Disney Infinity 2.0 fun. But I won't hold that against you guys.
I don't know what you're talking about. You are a cool dude, and you did have a good vacation. You didn't work like Pirate and I did.
True.
That was hard work, man.
I worked on my tan, as you can tell. I am just so completely tanned here.
Yeah, that's true. You were on the lake, right?
Yeah, it's scary how white I am when I look at myself in the camera. It's like what I was in the sun. What happened? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. Well. Yeah, it's like you're a vampire, right? That's a compliment, I guess.
That's what we are up here in Canada, is vampires.
That other voice you heard might as well be a vampire because he does not sleep, and you are looking pretty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today. Mr. Pirate Steven coming at us from DisneyInfinityFans.com. Pirate, how the heck are you?
I had 8 hours of sleep last night, and it was wonderful.
The best 8 hours of your life?
Yeah. Because I can't remember the other either.
That's true.
What the other one would be.
And then you had to go back to work today, and work was miserable for you.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I got 11 hours of sleep last night, and I'm feeling great
Thanks,
today.
Will. That makes me feel a lot better.
Hey, you could have gone to sleep at the early hour of 8 p.m. as well if you want. Well, no, you probably couldn't. You have a bigger family than I do. Well, I want to thank Evil Lost Customs for that awesome introduction that he gave us. Check out evillostcustoms.com. Scratch that, evillost.com for your Disney Infinity customs. He sponsors the show. This show, along with all of our Inside Infinity podcasts, are brought to you in partnership with the Disney Infinity Fans Forum. You can see that right underneath Pirate, Pirate under his name. Check that out. They are the #1 Disney Infinity fans forum for all things Disney Infinity, community, trading, news, rumors, just pretty much everything. It's a great group over there. This show is not only brought to you in partnership with that, but my attendance at the Toy Box Summit this year was also in partner with the Infinity Fans Forum. Without them, I would not have gone. So thanks for that, Infinity fans, and make sure everyone checks out their site. Pirate's a moderator there. I'm a moderator there, and there's just some cool folks there. Speaking of cool folks, if you want to be a cool folk, you can do so by heading to DisneyInfinity.tv each and every, generally Monday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and you can join in the live chat. You guys, I think this might be a record for the amount. Lloyd, during a break when you're not talking, you can count them up. But I'm just going to mention a few names that I recognize. Mr. Crazy by Nick, I recognize that name. Stuart, how you doing, buddy? John, I see you in there. Crystal Perry, we have Jazz 820. Jose, what's going on, buddy? Matt 88, Pirate Steven, we all know him. Nicholas Leinreier. There's a whole lot of good folks in there. Welcome, everyone. Nick, Model Train Man, how you doing tonight, buddy? I'm surprised you're not already discussing rec stuff. So we're actually going to be talking a few of these names here in just a little bit when we are talking about the Toy Box Summit. Yeah, can't wait to talk about all of them, because the summit, I don't know about you, Pirate, but the highlight for me had nothing to do with Disney Infinity 2.0. Well, I guess technically it did. It had nothing to do with the game. It had to do with the people there. I met some amazing people, some people that I'm going to consider lifelong friends, and so can't wait to talk to you all about them. So, guys, go ahead and ask some questions. We have some of the Disney Infinity TV in there, TV crew in there. We have Q Lanu, maybe a few more. They will be documenting questions, and towards the end of the show, we will be doing a QA session with. Oh no, it looks like we lost Pirate. Doing a QA session with the questions that you are asking. So, with that, let's go ahead and get things started with the show. First off, as we try to get Pirate back, just want to give some website updates. I want to thank everyone out there who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. We crossed the 1,000 sub mark over the weekend, which is just incredible. I can't believe there's potentially 1,000 people watching what we do, and we are forever grateful. So thank you so much for helping us meet and beat that milestone. Speaking of 1,000, we're on the road to 1,000 Instagrammers. I think we're sitting around 900 something. I don't have the number there. So Lim is kicking butt, posting awesome pictures, and every day we post a 15 seconds of Infinity, which kind of sums up the day of Infinity news in 15 seconds. So check them out. If you haven't seen our, sorry, that's later. If you haven't signed up on the site, make sure you do so. You have all of a week, I think, or 2 weeks, Lloyd, to
a few days.
A few days.
Friday.
Oh, you're right.
Thursday or Friday.
Till the 21st.
Yeah. So I do it early on the 22nd. So that's what Friday. So yeah, a few more days. Not too long.
Yeah, so what we're actually referring to is the clear VIP power disc for your profile picture. So make sure that you sign up before then to get that. Also, 2 weeks left. Here's that 2 weeks reminder. 2 weeks left for the Rocket and Groot signed figure. So if you want to do that, make sure you head over to the site just on the main page under the competition section, and you can join that competition. Lastly, if you haven't seen it, read Logan's Infinite Postabilities. Last week was all about the Disney Fab 5, and if you want to know what we think it would be like to have the Disney Fab 5 in Disney Infinity, then check out that article. Also, later this week, we are posting a new playset potential, Gravity Falls. I know that has been a widely requested one, so really excited to get that out the door. Sarah and Steve did a great job, so that's coming. Also, lastly, John, or if you haven't seen it yet, we had a very brief portion of an interview we had with JV and John Blackburn about the Disney Starter Pack. Head over to our YouTube channel for that. Speaking of interviews, later this week we are going to drop an interview that I did at the summit with both Chad Liddell and Bob Lowe, kind of the head honchos of the Toy Box, and they kind of talked to us a little bit about the kind of the philosophy of Toy Box 2.0 and what went into the creation of that, as well as the Toy Box designers. I got to interview Stuart and Papa Echo Patrick. And I can't wait to throw up that interview. So just come check out the site. We have lots of things happening. All right. So with that, I think we're going to move on with the meat of the show. First off is going to be news, and all the news items we are going to be talking about this week basically was either announced at the summit or shortly after. So the first item here, Lloyd, we finally got some info on the Disney Starter Pack. So do you just want to run that down real quick on just the brief basics? Do you know what that came with?
It comes with a muted microphone. That's the first thing. No. It comes with the disc, a base to put all your characters on. It comes with Stitch and Merida, and it also comes with the 2 pyramid discs for the Disney playset games that were rumored for a while, and some of them were leaked through achievements, but now we kind of know a little bit more about both of those.
Yeah, and so the price on both of those is actually going to be $60, and it comes with the full disc, and it also comes with a base. So yeah, that's good to know. But I think one thing that was really kind of interesting about this, just switching up the shot here, is a rumor was more or less confirmed, and this wasn't the first time. Pirate says it wouldn't be a podcast without some tech difficulties. That's true. It wouldn't be a podcast night without tech difficulties. We're trying to get him back on the horn, but for now it'll just be Lloyd and I. Sure. So one item that was not only seen on this starter pack, but also on the back of a figure that was given away, was these 2 characters right here. So as you can see, that is Hero and Baymax. And not only have we seen them on the back of figure packaging, but this entire image really has playable characters in them. So we can be pretty confident that each and every one of these, including Hero and Baymax, are figures. They got to be released soon. This was an official image released by Disney, so it's happening. It's just a matter of time. One thing that I am hesitating telling you, so you can go watch the interview, but I'm going to anyway, is during my interview we got some more clarification on these on the starter pack, and that is everything. I mean, not everything, but you can piecemeal and buy everything you want for the game a la carte. So if you bought this starter pack, you're going to be able to get the Marvel. You're going to be able to buy the Marvel playset separately. You're going to be able to buy those figures separately. Each of the 2 playset power disc, the game disc, the Stitches Tropical Rescue, and Merida's something, and then also the Escape from the Kiln and the Avengers one. I can't remember what it's called, but both of those are going to be sold separately as a pair. So you're going to be able to get both of those as well. And that was pretty cool. So it was nice to see that info. Yeah. So
pretty much the thing you're not going to be able to buy separate is a base. You have to get that with a starter set. So if you want just a couple of the things and you are willing to either just get the Disney or just get the Marvel, you'll be able to get all the other stuff. It just might take some time for it to all come out.
Yes, it's true. There's some funny conversation in the chat. Every time one of these images comes out, it's like whoever's doing our Photoshop is really impressive. We didn't Photoshop it, I promise. You can trust us. Well, partially anyway. So that was cool. Something else, and this was kind of a leak, and yes, I just want to say that we did get permission to discuss this, so we did not release this information sneakily. We actually got permission to talk about it.
Contrary to what some have said.
Yes, very true. So if you go to our website, or actually it's been spread around quite a bit, we have an article up there, and basically it's running down all of the Disney Power Disc. I've absolutely love this picture. As you can see, that's me. Pirate with his Disney Infinity Pirate gold, and this is actually Stuart. Also, I mean, not Stuart. Forgive me. This is Tyler, also known as Ty Force. He was actually helping Pirate, so he has nothing to do with these discs, but it was just kind of funny. He hammed it up for the camera there. So the photos, they are not as good a quality as the ones Disney released, but you can see each and every one of them. Some of our highlights we have actually shown. Sandy Claus, it looks like I've lost a bet, so I'm going to have to figure out an edible hat situation. This one right here to the left, I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to blow this up. Right next to Sandy Claus, this one right here is Cursed Gold. And what this one does is we posted a video of it, and it's actually on the forums as well. It changes Jack Sparrow into a skeleton version of himself. So
Nice.
There's a lot of cool power disc here. So we're not going to go through them all, but go and check them out and let us know what you think. We're pretty happy about it. It's kind of cool seeing what some of the rares are that we didn't know about before. So yeah. So check that out. You can find that on our blog, disneyinfinity.tv/blog. All right, that's going to wrap up that news. Let's see if Pirate's ready. Nope. Next up, this was pretty big Summit news. So rumor had it on the street at the Summit there is going to be some pretty awesome prizes. They announced the prizes. The prizes for, let's see if I can remember. I think the prize for third place was, I don't know, a collector's edition maybe? No. I don't remember what third place was because everyone was getting, I think they originally said starter packs, but then they said everyone's getting starter packs. So not sure what third place was. Second place was the PlayStation 3 Disney Infinity combo, the bundled system coming with the D20 or the starter pack of Marvel Avengers. And then the first place was getting the game and getting a PlayStation 4. So really, really cool big prizes. And you know what? I think everyone was just stoked to be there. It didn't really matter. And the competition was just kind of giving the event a purpose. But it was still really cool hearing about those. Well, at the end, there was a total Oprah moment, and I knew something big was coming. I was told to film the crowd. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something big was coming. So I trained my camera on the crowd, and the crowd being the Toy Box artists that were there competing. And they blew everyone away by saying not only was first place getting a PlayStation 4, but every single one of the Toy Box artists there competing were getting PlayStation 4s as well. Nice. Pretty awesome news. And Lloyd, I actually wanted to have a brief discussion with you about this because I had some talks with some people there, including Pirate. So first off, what do you think about this prize? I mean, that's pretty awesome, right?
Well, I think it's great. It kind of says that Disney or Avalanche feels that that version is the best version of the game, and they want people to showcase it, which makes me happy because that's the system that I chose to play the game on. So I'm super happy that way. But yeah, it shows it's very Disney. They don't want anybody to be a loser. Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets the prize, which is awesome.
I will never forget. You just made me think of something funny. I'll never forget. At the end or during the. At the end, I don't think this is broadcast as live on Twitch, but they gave away certificates, and Pirate has one, and this is the point when he's supposed to show it on screen. So we'll make him do that when he gets back. But they gave everyone certificates, and they gave them crystal Mickeys, which is pretty stinking cool. But JV asked one of the Toy Box artists. I want to say it was Barry Bomber, Kevin, really cool guy. He helped me out while I was there. Asked him, okay, so now he's getting this PlayStation 4, and he's getting the game, and he has Crystal Mickey's. Like, now what is he gonna do? You know, he was totally setting him up for that. I'm going to Disneyland comment, and his response was, well, I'm gonna take my time and fix my toy box since I'm gonna have more time. And it was just classic because JV was like, well, I was thinking the Disneyland comment. He's like, but your answer was better. So it was really, really kind of funny.
It's fun. I do have kind of one bone to pick, but not really bone to pick. But we were told that there'd be no more crystals. Now I have one more crystal to go out and find. Crystal Sorcerer Mickey.
Yes, but it's not going to be a Toys R Us crystal.
Ah.
So that is what they actually. I think that's what they're getting as. No exclusive crystals. This is going to be. Who knows how they're going to release it? I have no idea about that, but.
Okay, I'll make some room on the shelf behind me for that, and I'll put it there.
Yeah, I talked to Steve C today, and he's like, did you get a crystal? And he's like, if not, I really hope you're gonna go on eBay, and so we can hear about it for the next year. So
you should buy one off eBay just because.
I think I might have to. I think just so I could say that. And I kept telling that story this weekend, and Pirate was there listening. And he's like, dude, he's like, I'm serious. Every time you say that story, I think the price gets higher. And I'm like, well, yeah, it makes the story better.
$3,000 I spent on this figure.
Yeah. It's true. True. Eventually, that will be when 3.0 comes out. I'll still be talking about D23. But the piece of the conversation I actually want to talk about with you, Lloyd, is so you run VGPodcast.com.
I do.
And you are a PlayStation 4 guy. You own one.
Yep.
You and I, we discussed the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and exclusive at length on the D-Rest podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I want your thought about Disney Infinity's partnership with Sony. So
Sure.
during Sony's E3 press briefing, Infinity had a section there. They had a part of that presentation, which for anyone who knows anything about E3, that's a huge deal.
Sure.
This is Sony's time to shine, and now I'm pretty sure they sponsored this event. Well, I know they did. So there's this definitely close partnership with Sony, and we were talking with some of the people that were getting these PlayStation 4s, and we're thinking that's a brilliant move, right?
Totally.
What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's hard to say because when they announced it at E3, it was like, oh, and we've partnered with Disney. It's like, oh, okay, what does that mean? And then they talked about Disney Infinity, and they talked about all these great products that will be coming in the future, and our partnership's just starting. And it's just like, okay, so does this mean that there's going to be like a new version of Kingdom Hearts? Like, I'm thinking totally like gamey games, not just like product stuff. But then you see that there's going to be the PlayStation 3 bundle. I'm sure down the road, maybe there'll be a PS4 bundle, maybe for Disney Infinity 3.0. Maybe there'll be other games. Disney has the exclusivity for the Hulk. Like there's already a bunch of exclusive stuff. And it looks like that might not be it that's coming down the pipe. Maybe not for Disney Infinity, but maybe other Disney games. Like you got to think there's going to be Star Wars games coming down the pipe as well in the near future. So it's pretty exciting for me because I have a PS4, but I'm also a gamer that plays everything. So it kind of makes me sad for all the other gamers that they're going to miss out on some of the exclusivity that way.
Yeah, I think I dig the partnership. I am bummed about the collector's edition simply because, this is a collector's game, and that really limits I don't think you should ever kind of do that in a game because it's going to do is hurt one subsection of the consumer space.
I know some collectors that are buying the collector's edition, and it's just going to go on a shelf, and that's it. Like they're not in it. It's just there, and they're going to actually buy the Xbox 360 version to play. So it's like, okay,
yeah,
buying $170 dust collector to put on your shelf, but if you see the shelf, I'm okay with that apparently. So I don't really see a problem with that.
Right. Yeah. And some of the conversation that was happening there. So the entire event was ran on PS4s, and I don't know how many people there had PS4s. I would assume the majority of them did not. Every single person I talked to did not, and or at least when that was brought up. So the majority of the room didn't, and every single one of them, when they got done playing with it and got to see its capabilities and how pretty it was, they're like, I got to save up for a PlayStation 4 now, and completely not acknowledging the other platform, which that part's great. I mean, that's what the whole partnership's about. It's this constant plug for the PlayStation 4.
And it looks great. Like looking really at some of the videos, it doesn't look. I played Disney Infinity 1 on the Wii U, and obviously it looks better because it's on the next generation of consoles. But it looks better than that. Like everything about the game seems bigger, better, fuller, brighter, more colorful, more interactive, more animated. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait to dig into my starter set when it comes out, and hopefully my collector's edition isn't delayed in shipping or get damaged because I want to get that bad boy set up as well. But yeah, I just can't wait to dive in, and I'm really insanely jealous of you all.
Yeah. Well, it's cool, and it actually has some extra functionality that the Xbox doesn't, given the touchpad. I mean, it wasn't a lot. I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping that you could bring up the build menu and with the touchpad swipe across it to go through your items to select, and unfortunately all it does is bring up that menu. And it's this from experience, that touchpad in a lot of games takes the place of a select button since it doesn't have a select button.
the the one other thing about the PS4 that makes me really excited is with the new version of the OS that's going to be coming out in the fall, they have something called Share Play that's going to be built in the PS4, where you can invite one of your PlayStation Network friends to come on and become a virtual person on your couch. They can actually come and co-op with you. So I guess what that means is that I'll be able to play co-op Disney Infinity with people that maybe don't have the game or don't have my figures just over the internet that way. I'm looking forward to playing around with that with some people that I know that have kids that that want to play with us, but they're far away. But this might be a way for us to play together without having to do like Toy Box Share or anything like that.
Yeah, totally. I'm excited about that feature also. So yeah. So anyway, that was really cool. I love the Oprah moment. It was awesome, and I literally, you should have seen the reaction, Lloyd. It was so cool. I mean,
down, screaming, crying type stuff.
Seriously, yeah, it was awesome. Such a cool moment. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
really stoked about that. So cool. I'm getting buzzed from a few different places. Pirate's still working on getting back up. So yeah. Q Lanu is correcting us, Lloyd, saying share play is limited to 1 hour increments.
Yeah. But I didn't say that was not a limit, but yeah, so I can have my friends come in for an hour and then they can come back in after that for another hour.
Cool.
Which will be fun.
Yep. Awesome. Mighty Jidus, Lauren said her jaw almost fell off when they announced that, so she was getting a PlayStation 4. So
it's a pretty good prize. You gotta say, anytime that you get a current gen console as a prize, that's a pretty big ticket item. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and everyone got grab bags too. Everyone got Groot, Rocket, I think Nick Fury and Cap, and then also Maleficent, as well as T-shirts, posters, Power Disc. They got the Power Disc, so it was cool. And that you got that when you checked in. So, I mean, that just was the start of the weekend. And, I mean, here's the thing. This was kind of a celebration of those winning Toy Box artists, but I really do think this was a celebration of the community in general. Because if it was just for the Toy Box artists, then it wouldn't have been so much of it wouldn't have been streamed live. So, so yeah. All right, go try to get Pirate back on. He said he swears he pays his bills, so let's see if we can get him on the Skype. All right. While we're trying to do that, I'm going to see what's going on in chat. Yeah, my just whoa, look at that guy, Pirate Steven. All right, now I have to correct your guys' shot because it's all screwy now.
He's more surly than normal.
Jesus.
What happened? What happened there, Pirate? I don't believe you. Are you sure you pay your bills?
I think I might have fell asleep.
You should go into your input though and make that a little bit louder again.
Pump up the volume.
Pump up the volume. Pump it up. I can't sing it anymore. How's the rest go?
I'm not gonna sing on camera.
You know that. Come on. That's why people tune in. They tune in for the entertainment. No, it's just not gonna happen.
I opened my mouth, but no.
We have to end the show because of that.
What, singing, or because we missed you?
Because I was a turd.
No, we went on without you. We did all the stuff that basically you wouldn't want to hear about anyway, which was the news. So, but what we can do now that you are here, the image is almost fixed. There we go. Look at that. We're back to normal, and we're bringing up the lower thirds. One thing we did talk about, Pirate, was your cool certificate. So why don't you bring that up on camera if you don't mind? Ooh.
Fancy.
It's a little bit blurry, but that's just the connection. So yeah, what does it say? Does it say how awesome you are as a person and how cool you?
It pretty much says congratulations, thanks for showing up.
So it's the trophy that you got in Little League, right?
It's true.
See, the chat room's upset now because they're starting to do dancing and get your body on the dance floor. Cool. Well, Pirate, so what you missed was basically just a rundown of the news items. I don't think we really need to go back and talk about that. Now we're actually to the real meat of the show, and that is our thoughts on the summit. So First off, I'm gonna send it your way if you are up to the challenge, because I want to hear your thoughts about it. But before you say a word, I just need to let everyone know out there in internet land, this man right here, this guy who so graciously joins us on the podcast and so graciously uses his time to moderate the forums. This guy's like a pseudo Disney Infinity celebrity. Everyone knew who he was because he's walking around with his pirate hat. Everyone knows him because he's just that cool of a dude. Pirate, you even got to sign an autograph, right?
I did get to sign an autograph.
So, what do you think? What's your thoughts on the summit and just overall impressions? And is there anything you want to say to anyone or anything like that?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you started this show. I mean, it was a Disney Infinity event. You got to play the game, you get to be in this competition, but the main thing was meeting the people that made this game a success. And all of them were wonderful people. I was really hoping there would be at least one of them that'd be a jerk that we could root against, but maybe that was me. But yeah, everybody was so nice. It's ridiculously how many friends have come out of this. I can show you, I can show this off, which is really cool. So the Villains family made this little Pirate Steven figure out of rubber bands. And when he presented it to me, I said, "What is that? A voodoo doll? So you can stick pins in me while I'm trying to build my toy box?" But I think it's awesome. I'm gonna treasure that. But yeah, the people that make this game, the mentors there at Avalanche, everybody that made this event a success, were just incredible. And I know I can speak for everybody that went, and everybody wants to go again next year. So hopefully they do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm invited.
Yeah, I I want to second that. I don't know. I'm not seeing everyone, but I am seeing quite a few people from the event. Let me just see who I could see. So Mighty Jidus is Lauren. Model Train Man Nick was there. I also saw and then my chat cuts off, but I did see Enram in there as well. And Nate Enram. And so actually I do want to mention everyone who was there. So we had Lauren, Mighty Jidus, Stephen, Pirate Stephen.
Hey, I have a fun idea. Why don't
Yeah.
you mention everybody's name, and I'll tell you a funny story about each one.
Okay. All right. Cool. So Lauren, Mighty Jidus.
Lauren was hysterical. I talked to her so many times before the summit, and meeting her in person was just a pleasure. We kept going back and forth about who was going to be the one to stay up later. And 5 hours into the competition, she kept going back and forth saying, "I need to start this thing." I'm like, "You haven't started yet? I need my Red Bull." So her and Jose went on Red Bull runs. Thought she was
true.
going to get one or two, but came back with like a case. She did awesome. She knocked it out of the park with her toy box, her Groot toy box. I think everybody loved it.
Yeah, it did. Her presentation was hilarious too. Sweet. All right. Next, so we already said you, Steven. Do you have a funny story about you? I have a couple funny stories about you. And let's see if I can actually bring one up right now. I'm going to try to bring this on screen. And so everyone out there will be able to hear it. Pirate's not going to be able to, but who really cares about that? So.
Sad.
All right. This is Pirate Steven.
Tower.
All right. It's 15 seconds. So hold on, Pirate.
Tower what? Like eight.
Give you a sneak peek. It's gonna be a Guardians of the Galaxy toy box, and check it out tomorrow on the Twitch. And
Because there's voting.
Yeah, and you gotta vote for me, right?
Oh no. Still sound. Hold on. So yeah, that was our. I don't even remember. That was late. And Pirate was. We filmed the breaking down of a pirate as each kind of significant hour marker. He would slowly, get more tired, and we have all that footage. So if you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. So that's a funny story about Pirate. All right, now next up is the Barth family, Steve and Tanner. So these are their family, and they are one of the winners of the Magic Video contest. So Pirate, what's the story?
The father-son building combination is all. I build stuff with my kids, and I like to see that. And It's fun that it kind of brought them together. They got to do that fun video that won them a trip, which is really exciting, and they're really cool to hang out with.
Yep, totally agree. I dug their toy box. It was interesting. So. The one and only model train man, Mr. Nick. What's the funniest story about Nick? First off, let me say Nick was a delight. He was such a cool dude, and his toy box was freaking awesome. And I just really dug my time with him. So, all right, now it's your turn to say a story.
Yeah, Nick was actually on the Papa Echo team with me, and he'll be a lifelong friend. He was so great at this competition too. It's one of those open competitions where you got to use your own imagination, and he definitely has one. And this was his best box yet, and his dream was to get a featured toy box, and he will when this game drops in September.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Kevin Barry, Barry Bomber.
Kevin Barry, what can you say? It was his 20th birthday, and
Yeah, he celebrated it there.
yeah, you get to go on this nice trip and work in his toy box competition, and not really a funny story, but he did fall asleep in the middle of the night, and Lauren tried to wake him up, um, and he said, "Wake me up in 2 hours," and couldn't get a hold of him. And 5 minute warning, he runs in, and he actually did a really good job of recovering and finishing his box. So proud of him for that, and his box turned out really well.
Yep. Cool. Next up, coming all the way from France, the Durant family, Matthew, Stephanie, and Adrian. Really, really nice. They didn't speak English, so sadly I didn't get to talk to them too much, but they did have a translator there. So what's the story about them, Pirate?
That yeah, let me tell you, I almost made it all night. I think I fell asleep at 5:30. 15 out of the 18 hours competition. But their little kid was up the whole time, and he was able to. I think he was like 12 or less, and he was able to handle it better than me. But their dinosaur toy box was very creative. I have no idea how Iron Man ended up inside that dinosaur. Maybe I don't want to know, but it was cool. I can't wait to play that later.
Me either. Next up, a really, really nice guy. I talked to him a lot during the summit. Justin, also known as Just Incredible, was one of the Movie Magic Video Contest winners.
Yeah, I didn't know Justin too much before this summit. He's a Disney Infinity Fan Forum member, and he got in with that awesome pirate video, which is really cool because I'm pirate. But he was really cool to hang out with, and I think he didn't really do the challenges before this, but he really got the hang of it, and I totally see him as a threat for DI2 when it drops. I see him definitely entering a lot of contests.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit about his toy box, and his original plan was to make a MOBA, and then when you saw it, when he presented, I totally could see it. He was just having trouble with some of the logic in there, but I can't wait for him. Along with actually everyone there, every single person that was competing said the same thing. They said, this is great, can't wait until I can get this box in my hands after I've had a lot more experience with 2.0 to really make it the way I want it to be, because it was just so much to learn prior to it. Okay, next up we have Ollie Matty, Mr. Finn Warrior. I could not look at this guy without seeing his little avatar bunny. Super nice, chill dude. Really enjoyed hanging out with him. So Pirate, I know I really wish Lauren was here, so Lauren could speak as Ollie, because she does a pretty good impression. But so what's your story there?
Finn Warrior is a tall dude, and I also had the pleasure of having him on Team Papa Echo with me, and he did a great inventive box. There was a lot of technical difficulties during his challenge, and he had a lot of different boxes, so it was good to see him not give up after having some issues with his toy box.
Yeah.
But I was happy with the way it turned out, and he was a warrior. What can
Sweet.
I say?
He was
Finn Warrior.
weird.
Sense now.
Next up, such a nice family, the Hill family, Katie, Stewart, and Alana. They came from the UK. Really nice. I dug their toy box. I saw so many compliments about their toy box because it was a fairy, not princess. It was a fairy toy box. It was a Pixie Hollows toy box. So what's a funny story about them, Pirate?
Yeah, Pixie Hollow was a great direction to go in with this because that Tinkerbell figure is going to come out, and what are you going to play it in? You're going to want to play it in that Pixie Hollow
Mm-hmm.
level, and they did great. They kind of do what I would do with this challenge, what other people do with this challenge, and they pick something completely different than everybody else. So I applaud them for that, and they were really cool and nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing villain about them, which I was kind of disappointed about,
Yeah.
but they made it out with their niceness.
And they were just thrilled to be there. They were having such a good time as a family. It was great
Yeah,
to see.
their little girl is their tester, and she was up quite late past her
Yeah.
bedtime. So
Yes, she was. I'm sorry, I do have to back it up because Papa Echo was saying hanging out with Ollie was like hanging out with Thor. And then Jose is saying the misadventures of Bob, the Hydra agent, was just hilarious. So sorry to back that up. All right, continuing on. We have the Iridati twins. So we had David and Diego coming all the way from Spain. These guys mean business. They were so nice and so much fun to talk to. But man, I literally walked by early in the night. I walked by their toy box and I'm like, what the heck? I know what they're capable of. I was like, why are they sitting there playing in the playset? Why are they? It looked like they were in Marvel Manhattan. I was like, what are they doing? And then I watched a few more minutes and I was like, oh no, that is their toy box. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. These two guys are really cool, and they're kind of masters at what they do. I asked them one funny story that I asked them about is they were sitting there playing split screen, right? And they're both building, and I was like, oh, is this how you guys build at home? I was curious kind of how that process went, and they're like, no, we trade off controllers. So they do build toy boxes together, but they do it one controller at a time, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy, and I'm sure there's some method to their madness, but I thought that was really cool. Jose is calling Iridati Skynet.
yeah, the Daddy twins. They have my favorite box, which was Never Neverland, and I always wondered how they did it, and it's exactly what I have done wrong all this time, and I haven't cloned myself yet. So two of them working on this project together. I mean, brothers,
Yeah.
brotherly love there, being able to knock this out. They were really cool and fun to hang out with as well.
Yeah, they were. And I mean, there's definitely power in numbers in that respect too, especially given a time restraint.
Absolutely agree with that.
Cool. Moving on, Nate, Mr. Enram, super cool dude. I don't know why I hung out with Nate quite a bit. Not not to sound bad, but I just kind of found myself watching his toy box. His toy box was amazing. It was very Marvel themed. It went to Thanos' lair. It went through I forget the hallway and the Thor movies that has all of the relics including the Infinity Gauntlet. But Nate was just a really cool guy. I enjoyed hanging out with him, and his toy box rock. So, Pirate, do you have some fun things about Nate?
Yeah, Nate was a really funny guy, and yeah, his toy box had like 18 parts to it. I mean, that's like one part an hour. I don't know how he did it. He had some pretty cool Marvel reference guides with him.
Yeah.
But I think he even used them. He was such a joy to meet, and I'm glad he was part of this.
Yeah.
It's good to compete against him.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see what his toy box looks like when he has more time with it, because what he presented was insane.
Yeah, he was another trooper that stayed the entire time.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what this means, but Tyler's saying Nate was my power line pal. Oh. You obviously know what that is.
Well, I know who Powerline is, obviously, but I guess it means something.
Yeah, and a little inside joke. So Jose was saying Nate's box was probably the most ambitious of them all. So cool. And Jose is one of the toy box community designers. So, next up, Ben Turner, really cool guy. I actually got to ride up on the bus next to Ben on our way we went out to dinner. It was really cool. Really nice getting to talk to him and actually get to know him a little bit outside of the summit, as far as like it wasn't just Infinity focused. Really, really nice guy. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what his toy box was. Pyre, I'm sure you can help me with that.
He did Spider-Man and had like a Marvel, which is really cool. But he's best known for that Soren toy box where he had a golf ball that shot out right at you, and it was cool meeting him just for that toy box.
Yeah,
and he also did the In Summer Olaf, the Frozen challenge where he did the In Summer toy box. He got first place.
Yes, so, and actually
two first place challenges will get you there.
That's pretty impressive. He goes by Turner Brothers, and actually Ben, Pirate and I, we need to talk to you about something fun with your Olaf and Summer toy box. So be on the lookout for that. Next up, another world traveler, Christian, Mr. Monkey, came from Germany. Really, really nice guy. Also, I really dug his toy box. He had lots of different interior and exteriors, so he kind of took you through a definite path to kind of tell the story that he was trying to convey. So, Pirate, do you have some questions for him?
I don't have any questions for him, but I know a couple of things.
Stories.
There are a couple of things, but so he did this awesome Marble Madness toy box. That was such a great idea. And he's from Germany, and he had cameras all over him. He must have been some kind of foreign international celebrity, because they were interviewing him the whole time.
They really were.
The sad story about him is they actually lost his luggage on the way home.
Oh no!
Had all of his Toy Box Summit swag.
Ooh.
But the good news is they found it, and hopefully he gets it soon intact.
Oh, that's a bummer. Talk about a way to end an amazing trip. But at least they found it. So
they found it. So hopefully they'll get all of his toys to him soon.
Cool. So that's Mr. Monkey. Next up is Ben. He goes by DeAnimator, and he was one of the Movie Magic contest winners as well. I'm blanking on his toy box too, Pirate.
I believe he did Guardians of the Galaxy toy box as well. He had some pretty.
Oh, that's right.
At the end, they did a pan out, and I know all the Johns on stage really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was really cool to meet as well. He did the Ratatouille toy box for the Magic contest, and unfortunately, I didn't get him to do the voice for me, which I was really hoping he would do his French accent for me. But maybe next time, Ben.
Maybe next time. That was an impressive toy box that he submitted for that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Last but certainly not least, the Scott family, Mandy and Luke. They're a husband and wife team, and you know them as Vasuri83. Super nice. Again, like a lot of the contestants, it was really cool seeing a family working together. In this case, just a husband and wife team, and they were making jokes and they were presenting their toy box. That it's quite the interesting dynamic. Luke was saying that Mandy trumps him when it comes to toy box arguments. So really, really nice. And yeah. What do you think, Pirate? What?
Yeah, they were very cool as well. A husband-wife team, and they had to build on a split screen the whole time, and that's not easy. And they come up with a really good Marvel-themed adventure box, and they used a lot of the different toys. So that was impressive. They were able to pick it up right away and knock another one out of the park.
Yeah. Sadly, I didn't get to interview everyone, but I did interview the majority of the toy box artists, and we'll be cutting something together so you can actually kind of hear their thoughts of the summit and kind of what they thought of the whole experience. So be on the lookout for that. That will be going up relatively soon as I can edit it. I'm still recovering from sleep. So that wraps up the toy box artists that were there. So just like Pirate and I said, just a great group of people, and we had so much fun with them. They weren't the only good group of people. So I will hand it over to you in a second, Pirate, but I want to give some special thanks and shout outs to the Toy Box community designers. Forgive me, I struggled with their title all week, so guys, correct me in the chat if I am messing that up. But it started off first with Chad Liddell. You may know him from Disney Infinity community. He has a blog, and actually he posted some thoughts on the summit this past weekend, and he also last night posted some behind the scenes images, which were really cool. So head on over to there, chadliddell.tumblr.com, to read up on that. But he was such a cool kind of host for me. He hung out, just went out of his way to hang out, and there's a funny thing. He forgot to press record on an interview I was doing, so we lost. No, I'm just kidding. He did run my camera for an interview, which was awesome of him, and it was a camera issue. It wasn't a him issue, so that was really cool. I'm like, this Toy Box or this Disney Infinity legend is like running the camera for me, so that was cool. Then we have the Toy Box designer. So we have Quinn, we had Jose, we had Stuart, we had Patrick, and we had Tyler, and these guys were just so awesome. Not only to me, hanging out with them was one of the highlights of my trip. They're just such nice, awesome group of guys. You can see, so what they're working together on whatever they're doing over there in the bullpen. They're working together, and they have such a good chemistry within the team and with each other. Really can't wait to see what they can accomplish, and they all have varying strengths, which is really cool. So that was my personal experience with them. These guys were great. Jose went above and beyond and gave me something, a present, which is really, really cool of him. It's something he deserved, but he handed it off to me. So thank you for that, Jose. But you know what? My personal experience was only half the story. What surprised me and blew me away is, so these guys had worked all week. They did their 8 to 5 job, or their 9 to 5, whatever it is, at Avalanche, working actually on the game. And then they spent pretty much their entire weekend at the Toy Box Summit. And they weren't required to be there the whole time, but many of them stayed up literally all night, and stayed up, or at the very least the majority of the night, because they were the mentors at the summit. So they were the ones that were there to kind of help people with all these new items in the Toy Box, and just help them out and kind of support them. And they really went above and beyond. So for that, I applaud you guys, and that kind of like rounded out the personal experience I had, just how cool and awesome these guys are. And I think they couldn't have chosen a better group of guys to kind of represent the community on the Disney Infinity team. Like, these guys are, they're kind of one of us, if you can say that. They're one of the community. They're just like all of us. And so that was definitely seen in the during the event. And so that's it for me gushing. You guys can put away your wallets now. You don't have to bribe me anymore. No, just kidding. But I do want, Pirate, I want to hear kind of your thoughts on them as well, because I know you got to spend a lot of time with them.
Well, starting out with Chad Liddell, and I know Lauren just said this in the chat room. He came back really early on the competition day to make sure everybody was doing okay, and I thought that was really cool. And yeah, he picked a great group of people to represent the community Toy Box team. They're really hard workers. They live and breathe and enjoy everything they do. So I think, and this is why when people hear maybe no play sets are coming out, this is why you shouldn't have any worries about that, because this group of and I'm gonna call them characters because they're all pretty much characters to me. They're gonna work hard and make sure that we have great product to play for a very long time. So don't fret. We got a great group of people working on this. Quinn Johnson is really funny guy. He has some good jabs every now and then, and he was a comic book writer, so he could tell a story. So it was good hearing a lot of his stories he had to tell. Jose is hilarious.
Hilarious.
Who doesn't? Every time you hear him laugh, it's like the Joker from Batman. Tyler pointed that out, which I thought was really funny, and he's just a master with the creativity toys. He could tell you what each one did, and it's a whole bunch of them, 79 new ones. So
Yeah.
and he was one of the ones that stayed up all night as well. So he was a good trooper in that aspect. And he then even on his day off, hung out with some of the toy box artists that were still in town.
Mm-hmm.
So great representation of the product. Stuart Malcolm, what can you say about Crazy by Nick? He is also, all these people are funny. I guess that was part of the interview process. You had to be funny.
Yeah. Seriously.
But yeah, really, really cool guy, and very helpful to everybody around him, not just his team, but he went to all the stations, and another brilliant person on their team. And I got to see some of the toy boxes that he's been working on, and people are gonna love playing them, especially the Space Invaders one. It was really cool. And Tyler Cole, Ty Force, he is another character. I call him the dancer, because we actually went and hung out and went to a old pioneer town, and we got to see some Native American dancers. And I was looking at him, and I was looking at the dancers, and I said he could definitely do that. So that's why I nicknamed him the dancer. But he is so freaking funny, like all these other people. I enjoyed hanging out with him, and he was helpful, and he stayed all night as well.
Mm-hmm.
Even as tired as they were, they still continue to help all their toy box artists to be successful, and that's why Tyler rocks as well. Who else?
Well, we are. What's that?
Papa Echo,
Yeah.
Mr. Patrick is always a good friend to me, and he got to hang out with me, Nick, and Finn while we built our toy boxes, and he stayed there all night, and I had the extra benefit of his wife came to visit him, because I was like, you would not believe how many interviews this guy's doing right now. And every time we say that, she rolls her eyes. It's this big eye roll, like the balls from Indiana Jones is rolling at you, and it's really fun. She actually hung out with me, and did some of my toy box testing, which was really cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's one. She might as well be a toy box artist now that we got mentioned. That's Mrs. Echo, and it was so funny. Like Papa Echo basically abandoned you. He's like, yeah, Pirates got says. But Mrs. Echo stepped in and was like, I literally walked up at one point, and she was, you turned to her, and she's like, and you're like, did I do that? And she's like, no, you need to do it again. You need to do this. And like, she was helping you keep track of your toy box. So nice. And she hung out with you there, and it was nice hanging out with her too, and watching her eye rolls as we basically called Patrick a Infinity celebrity. Another story I have, just as a testament of kind of what these guys are, how committed they are. Pirate, I got in late Thursday night, before the summit even started. I think my flight got in at 10:40. I think I got to the hotel room at 11:30. You texted me and you're like, "Hey, I'm in the lobby. If let me know when you get here." And so I walked in at 11:30. You're sitting there with Tyler and Patrick, and they just had a long work day, and they're gonna have a long weekend, and we just sat there and shot the breeze for an hour or two and just chat. And they didn't need to be there, but they were just cool hanging out. So I'm sorry, guys, but you have made friends with me, whether you want to or not, because I consider you guys friends, and actually everyone else at the summit for that matter. So deal with it. Just kidding. Well, cool. So that is kind of our take on the summit. Pirate, unless there's anything else you want to bring up, any other funny stories or anything, I think we might head on over to a Q&A session.
The only thing I have to talk about is, so obviously the developers listen to the community, and the prizes for this thing was, there was Agent M, who works for Marvel, was going to pick the best Marvel toy box, and that was going to get all the Spider-Man play sets and the figures and the Guardians of the Galaxy play set and those figures. And then the second prize was going to get a PlayStation 3 and the toy or the starter pack for PlayStation 3, which is a bundle. And then the grand prize, the first prize, as you will.
Sorry, Pirate. I just want to let you know one thing we did talk about was the Oprah moment and the prizes. So if that's where you're heading,
I have a point here.
Okay.
So we'd get a PlayStation 4 and the collector's edition. And so, like you said before, you already went into it. Everybody got a PlayStation 4, which was a great moment because the whole week these people were talking about what system they're going to play on, and brilliant move by Sony to make sure that all of the key Toy Box Artist players in this game are on their device. I mean, it's brilliant. The point I was trying to make was that during our welcome dinner on Friday night, Finn Warrior looked over at John Vignacchi and said, "Hey, why don't you put all the Toy Box Artists in the game as townspeople? How cool would that be?" And JV pretty much said, "That's a great idea." And he's pointing at at the other big executives for the game at the table, and they're like, "Listen to what he just said." So that is where it literally came from to make that the new grand prize.
Yeah, and literally that was that weekend. Like that decision literally was made that night, right? I mean, I would assume, or shortly after, but based on something one of the community members said.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Thanks for making that point. I apologize for so rudely interrupting you.
No. Go ahead.
Halfway through the weekend we could read each other's thoughts, but that must only be when we're present in the same room.
Sure.
All right, everyone. Well, now let's talk about actually information with the summit. So we are kind of having a rule here. Honestly, we didn't really learn anything groundbreaking that is still unknown. And if we did, we want to respect Disney Infinity, and the game is a month away from launch, and we don't really want to spoil any surprises. So kind of the rule for these questions is we are going to discuss anything that we've either reported on since we essentially got the okay to do so, or anything that was seen more or less on the Twitch feed. So we apologize in advance if there's some questions that we can't answer, but we're going to try to answer as many as we can. So first off, Logan, thank you for filling in some questions from the chat room, and that's where we're going to start. So first question is coming from Nicholas Lionrider. What kind of textures were available in 2.0? For example, did you see the Untitled Jungle Book texture? I don't know if we should talk about that one, Pirate. Do you think that one's okay to talk about, or? Yeah, we're gonna have to shy away from that.
The possibilities are infinite.
There you go. That will be our answer if we can't say it. So sorry, Nicholas Lionrider. Yeah. All right. So Romulus is asking, for blocks, are just solid colors available now, or still colored textures? That I think we can answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually use this, so I'm going to let you answer this.
Yeah, I had a lot of blocks in my toy box. So if you ask me what my favorite new feature of Disney Infinity 2.0 was, what I learned about, it would be the color purple now exist in the toy box, which there's so many toy boxes I wanted to build during the 1.0 era where my choice was a pink block that if I did a different sky dome, it would kind of look a little purple. Mm-hmm. But besides that, the purple doesn't exist. So, purple's in there now. It's actually 2 shades of purple. And there's glossy colors, and there's so many more textures that make this game really cool. The water looks infinitely times better. And purple and gold.
I might, at the risk of getting myself in trouble, there was one block I do want to talk about, and I'm only doing so because I saw a toy box artist, not one of the devs in the chat, but one of the artists mentioned this. So there's now a toy box or a block texture disc that is animated water. So it's still just the blocks. It doesn't splash or anything when you're on it, but it will definitely improve those toy boxes where you were using the ice crystals or the MU water, because there's actually water looking ones now, which is really, really cool.
And speaking of blocks, because that's what we were doing, the most famous, the block that everybody had been whining about from 1.0 was there was no right angle triangle block. The basic right angle triangle. There was an upside down right angle triangle you could have used, but not the regular right angle. And now we have that one, and I used it a lot in my toy box. Just because
it really helps add to like what you can create, right? The shapes and stuff and designs you're trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, and they pretty much took all of the other designs, and now there's like a upside down version or a regular size version. You can do like a circular shape now. Before there was only like one side of the circle, and you have so many more options now when it comes to blocks. You could pretty much build to your heart's content with blocks.
And Lloyd, forgive me. I mean, I know it's hard for you to pipe in, but please feel free to add anything to these questions when or if you have something.
I'll pretend that I was there.
There you go. This name, Joe's Blood Rose. We're just going to go with that. First time catching a live show. Well, thank you for that. Was there any news if they are going to have Alice figure along with some others? We're not gonna discuss anything about unreleased figures or playsets like that. But to be completely honest, personally, I saw nothing outside of what we mentioned at the top of the show, which was on the starter pack. So there's that. I do think they did a really good job of providing the tools needed without spoiling anything, and I for one am thankful for that. So.
Steve Krellin would love Alice in Wonderland. I know he's not here to request it, but he would request it if he was here. There's a new Alice in Wonderland movie that's being filmed right now. I think it's a sequel to the Johnny Depp one. So who knows? They could put Alice in the game eventually. There was a new power disc with the caterpillar. So at least they're getting a little bit more Alice in Wonderland in.
It's true. In fact, thanks for asking that question just so we could mention that. Kulanu, Logan is saying, do the Disney costume change disc work on other characters than those on the disc? I tested this, and since I got to play with the disc or document them, I'm going to go ahead and answer this one. The answer to that question is a sad no. I tried Mickey with the All for One disc. I tried the Incredible Power disc with Mrs. Incredible, and I tried one other. I tried your Pirate disc, and this actually was asked a lot on Twitter too. I tried your Cursed Gold on Barbossa and what's his name, the other dude, Barbossa and. Help me out, Lloyd. What was his name?
I'm trying to think of the name. Can't think of it right now.
Chat room, help us out.
Yeah, that guy. We lost Pirate again.
We did lose Pirate again.
So I can't fill in for his shoes on this part, unfortunately.
No, sadly. Well, maybe I can embarrass myself and
you will.
All right. Well, Barbossa and the Kraken guy, Davy Jones. Davy Jones. Thank you, Lloyd and Nicholas Lionrider. Oh no, Pirate messed up again. Sorry, folks. You'll just have to deal with Lloyd's widescreen and my.
He's back.
Oh, he is back.
Yep.
Pirate, you back? Oh yeah, you're back. Yay.
Sweet.
So yeah, Pirate. I was just saying that no other costume change disc work on other figure. Not all of them, but the Disney originals didn't. Anyway, those are the only ones I tested.
Yeah, the other thing you said you tested was the team up disc, where you weren't able to do 2 team ups at a time.
That's true.
You could have one powering up while the other one while you're using the other.
Yep. Sorry to ask, Pirate, but if you can edit your input volume again, that'd be great. Yeah, so that was actually a really cool feature. So you can put down two team up discs, but you can only use one at a time. And the way it works is you activate those by up or down on the D-pad, and it's really cool. It kind of dynamically changes that on the fly. So when you put down two discs, it automatically makes the second disc the other buttons. So that was a great question. Ujaz Fa, will we see rides in 2.0? I didn't see any rides, so I doubt they're coming. But we can't confirm that. We just did not see that in the toy box that we were using. Right, Pirate?
What kind of rides are you talking about?
I think like a track system, like I lay down a track to see if I can make my own Haunted Mansion Doom Buggy ride.
Okay.
Matt88 is asking a question: can Disney figures team up with Marvel team-ups? The answer to that is yes, although I didn't test it. But that is something that they've actually mentioned a time or two. Next up, did you swim in Scrooge's vault? Sadly, I did not. That was one of the things I wanted to do. Pirate, did you have a chance to do that?
I didn't. I know Mile Train Man used Scrooge's money bin, and he did.
So Nick, I know you're in the chat. Let us know your thoughts on that. But I do got to ask you, Lloyd. I told you about this before the show started. Mm-hmm. Did this make you happy?
It did. It very, very much did.
Yeah.
Just the thought of other things that could happen based on the same thing made me very, very happy.
Yeah, it's cool that, and this was talked about on the Twitch stream, but it was really cool that they, it's really easy to kind of forget about what was done before and just look forward and move on. But it's really cool to see some of this love for the stuff that was in 2.0 or 1.0.
Yeah, there's many favorite things that I have in 1.0, and I'm curious to drop them down in a toy box and see what's different about them and explore and things like that. So that'll be a lot of fun.
So yeah, Lion King Pride Rock looks infinitely better as well. They spruced that one up as well.
Cool. I didn't see that one. Tyler is saying there are rail systems, and then Crazy by Nick is saying, Stuart's saying make rails side by side. So maybe there's a way to trick that, making a ride system. What else we got? Can you elaborate on the graphical differences between the Xbox One and PS4? No, we cannot, because they did not have the Xbox One. We can discuss the PS4 versus current gen, though. Pirate, do you have thoughts on that? I'll be completely honest. I would not go out and buy a next gen system just for the graphics alone. This game reminds me of the World of Warcraft game, and what I mean by that is during the development of World of Warcraft, they intentionally chose a design, kind of a design category that can stand the test of time. And I think the sheer nature of Disney Infinity being kind of cartoony, it lends itself well to that. So although it did look better, I wouldn't say that it's worth necessarily upgrading a system for graphics alone.
The toy box size might be the deciding factor for a lot of people. If they want to add more stuff, they might need a next gen version.
Yeah. Yep. Pirate, you have thoughts on either of those?
The toy box size, we don't know how much of a difference it is between the current and the next gen, but I can tell you it is so much better in this one. Like that, I built the Dark Aster in mine, which is the Ronin's ship, and I used so many blocks in that. And if I would have done that on DI 1.0, I would have maxed out, or it would have been 90% just on that one ship. Mm-hmm. But I was barely a quarter of my toy box meter after building that and Xandar. So it's a lot better size-wise for these toy boxes.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Next up is, and actually it's funny you say that, Pirate, because some people even maxed out the toy box size in this one. I didn't get to see, but I wasn't paying attention to who said that to compare it to their eventual completed toy box. So I wonder who that was.
Vault of Villains maxed theirs out, and I believe the Daddy twins as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Next up is no, Janilum. Are there different style doors that you can link to other toy boxes, like ones that look like elevator doors? So there's only one style door, but you can kind of change the colors of them. Crystal Perry asks, do we know anything about the magic bands having any capability in 2.0? So I specifically asked this to JV and John Blackburn. Their response was there's unlocks similar to that. And I asked for clarification, does that mean the magic band is one? And they did not say one way or another. So there are going to be unlocks similar to that, but who knows if magic band will be one of them. Continuing on, so that's the questions for the chat. Now let's we reached out to social media today, and we asked people to send in questions. We're probably not going to go over all of these, but we are going to go over quite a few. So John asked a few questions. Pirate, you answered one. The thoughts on toy box sizes, they're a lot bigger. He did ask a question that it's something I noticed, and I want your thought on it, Pirate. Load times. Were load times improved at all in your mind?
Yeah, the only time I really noticed a load time was when you're switching from one toy box to the other via the door. But besides that, I wouldn't say it's anything to complain about.
I noticed some people who had large toy boxes did take some time to load, but also to talk on that, there were networking issues within the space, and I know there's some sort of pinging and authentication with the network, so that could have been part of the problem there. This is a great question. Can toy boxes be created to limit what character can play in it? I don't know the answer to this. There is a new Creativa toy that you can adjust the parameters of the toy box. Like, for example, is this toy box editable? That's just one of the many examples. Pirate, if you had experience with this, do you know if that's possible to limit what character? And if not, maybe one of the community team members can, if that's something they're able to talk about.
Sorry, can you repeat the first part of that?
Yeah. Can you limit what character is allowed to play in a toy box? So, for example, if I was making a pirate playset or a pirate toy box, could I only allow Davy Jones, Pirate Steven, and crap, I can't think of the other one's name now. This guy.
Barbosa,
thank you.
Yeah, I
Jones.
don't know the answer to that specific question. Maybe some of the community people might. But one thing that I thought was interesting was just like the play sets, if you want to make it so that if a character dies in your game, you have to wait a certain amount of time or use a different character. I thought that was interesting.
That's really cool. Yeah, and it looks like you can limit what character is allowed to play in it. So cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, and also when uploading toy boxes, you can specify the required characters or abilities. That's pretty cool. You can limit areas to flyers or wall crawlers, etc. Wow. So you're really going to be able to. It's interesting because I heard numerous times how developing playsets with all of these different locomotion mechanics, how difficult that was. For example, if you have a barrier that one character can't jump over because they don't have a flying or swinging ability, another character could easily jump over that, and that was challenging while developing the game. So it's kind of interesting that that you can limit that for the toy boxes you make. Really get to the nitty-gritty of developing that. Sweet. All right. More questions. So John is asking another great question. From meeting them, can you tell me more about the role and jobs of the DI community toy box team? The short answer and clip notes I'm going to mention here is basically it kind of sounds like to me, for the most part, they were hired on for us. They are hired on to create content that we will be playing. primarily in the toy box, and it might expand beyond that. But they did talk about that a little bit in an interview that we're going to roll later this week. So tune in for that, and you can actually hear it straight from their mouths. And I think it's more interesting that way. Stove54 asked, any toy box items resizable? So it was asked in the chat, can you resize blocks? Well, the answer to that question was no. The only items I've seen that are resizable are areas. Areas and not the creators, but you have these blocks that work similar to creators, but it's almost an instantaneous thing. And like, for example, you want to make a castle. You place this castle creator down, and then you expand the volume of it, and that will be the size area of that castle structure. That's one example. Another example is you also have these clear, I forgot what they're called, but these, you can set up clear barriers. So for example, if you're making a side scroller and you know how it's easy to fall off one side or the other in that 3D space, but the 2D perspective, you can actually set up a clear wall there that they can't get past, and that's also kind of, you can resize the volume. Let's see, Stephen Pierce 5 asked, remember reading somewhere that 1.0 disc will have new functions in 2? Is this accurate? I didn't see a single 1.0 disc. I don't know if you did, Pirate.
No.
Okay. I'm going to send this straight to you, and this comes over from our friend Roger from Vinyl Mission Kingdom. He asked, pick just one new toy that blew you away and why. So, Pirate, I'm going to ask you this. I'm also going to ask the toy box artists in the chat and see if they have a new item. So, is there an item that just completely blew you away?
Besides the color purple?
No, if that was it, that was it.
I can't just pick one thing that I just saw. I do like that they improved on certain things that I used in my previous toy boxes and they've actually fixed. For example, the collection pen, you can now throw a character in there and it disappears. Now I've built at least two toy boxes where I've had collection pens, but to make sure they worked, you throw something into that collection pen and it kills them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can hear like a zapping noise, like bzzz, whatever I threw in there, I electrocuted. But I'm glad that the collection pens were fixed.
Yeah, you know that trick where you jump up and down. It's really nice that you have to deal with that anymore. The chat is really, those clear areas I was referring to are called barriers, and they don't have collision. So what that means is you can actually extend that through objects, and so it doesn't bump up against that. And everyone's just saying that it's just a valuable tool and it's going to be really helpful. Romulus says, with barriers, I'm dying to make that Battletoads tunnel level. Oh man, please do that.
Nice.
That's awesome. Typeforce is saying the Challenge Maker. I don't know I didn't get to play with the Challenge Maker, and I don't know much about it. So if you can expand on that, I would love to discuss it. Unless you know what it is, Pirate.
Well, an example of a challenge could be like in Incredibles or any of those other boards where you got to find the big balloons to pop them.
That's right.
I mean, you can pretty much make a toy box exactly like one of those adventures in the play sets.
Yeah.
And yeah, it pretty much it gives you more ideas for your toy box to get fun.
Cool.
And functional.
Yeah, that's a great point. So all those challenges you had in the first game, you can essentially recreate. It covers
the racing game, like anything like in the Cars play set where you got to set up a race challenge, or if you saw Model Train Man had challenges like the pinball challenge in his. So.
One really cool thing about that, just a side note, is it was a cooperative pinball level. So each person, him and Patrick were playing in that, and each person had a flipper, and so they were playing pinball cooperatively, which is really funny and cool. Great. Let's continue on.
Oh, let me add something.
Yeah.
The townspeople are actually very cool to use now because you can go into their properties and give them actions. I know when I was building my first toy box, I was all about using the townspeople, but I had 86 that idea
Mm,
when all they wanted to do was walk into a building or fall off the cliff. Now you can tell them to stay still, dance, faint, laugh, bark, uh, whatever you want them to do.
that's
Uh, and they're little cool little people you can put in your little environment.
yeah.
So um, a lot more useful.
I think it's really going to bring some life, much needed life into it.
Exactly.
Cool. Boondoggle Man, who's in the chat, asked most anticipated playable villain from the summit. Sadly, there were no villains outside of 1.0 characters that were available to play, unless I'm mistaken. But is that right, Pirate?
Repeat that.
There were no playable villains there, so there was no Loki, no
Sure.
Green
No,
Goblin.
not unfortunately, but
Yeah,
most anticipated, I would have to say Guardians of the Galaxy. Ronan is what I'm looking forward to playing as.
cool. Out of curiosity, Lloyd, who are you most excited villain to play with?
Sorry, I keep muting my mic. Yeah, Ronan as well. I love the hell out of that movie, and I just want to reenact some of that stuff with my kids. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Great. Continuing the social media questions, Beast Boy asked, "Will there be different houses, or are they all the same?" I'm assuming what he's asking is the building pieces like the Pirate Town, um, Agrabah. If that is in fact what you're talking about, yes, there's a lot more options to build kind of housing structures there and buildings. The buildings look awesome. I took a short video and I just happened to throw down some building pieces in the background, and someone was like, "Whoa, this was the playset, or this was the toy box. It looks like a playset." So buildings are greatly improved.
Plus,
And
he's,
there's little creative people who just do it all for you, and at least get you started. Because I know a lot of people might suffer from toy box block, which is kind of like writer's block, where you don't know where to get started. So I threw like one of the pirate creators in there, and he totally built like a little fort town. But after he did that, he didn't stop there. He started putting like all the decorations on the buildings and the different kinds of windows, and really really pimped my pirate town out. And it was fun. I didn't even have to do anything but watch him. And
Yeah.
you can actually put multiple ones in there if you want them to team up and build you something really cool.
Yeah. Another question here. I don't know if we should answer it, but I'm at least going to approach it. Were there a lot more NPCs for the toy box for both Marvel and Disney? How about this? The answer is there's more. And you'll just have to wait and see who and what. There's some really fun ones, but there's quite a few more than what was in 1.0. Is that a good answer, Pirate?
Yeah,
Cool.
we'll go with that.
That was from Hidden Arts. Thanks for that. D Slade asked, was the summit recorded or was it just live? It was recorded and it's archived on the Disney Infinity Twitch channel. So check that out. I highly recommend you watching it because not only was there a lot of good coverage of the summit, but the community designers were up there on stage like a couple rock stars, or a few rock stars, and they were basically giving you the Disney Infinity 2.0 Toy Box crash course. And so if you want to get prepared for day one of the Toy Box, you want to hear what they have to say. Not only that, but they showed off some really cool toy boxes that they made to kind of show off some of the items they made. One that was really cool and fun to me was Quinn made a choose your own text adventure, and all it was one of the sky domes, and you're just staring at the sky dome, and these text boxes coming up, and it says press this to do this. It's like you walk into a dark dungeon. Do you go straight? Do you turn left or turn right? And you press B to go right, and then it takes you to a new path. And so he made an old school text adventure, which is cool. Jose made a straight up Marble Madness. Like, I haven't played that game since the original NES, and I recognized it as the exact starting level of the original Marble Madness game. And crazy. Patrick recreated his
Helicarrier.
Yeah, shield helicarrier. Pirate. My favorite part of that was when you threw. I can't remember who you threw in, but you threw someone in these little areas, and they were interrogation chambers, and then they pop out and let you know if they are a shield agent or not, or a Hydra agent or a shield agent. Those are just a couple examples.
Type Force had a great Guardians of the Galaxy toy box as well.
Mm.
Stewart had his Space Invaders one that they showed.
Oh
off.
yeah,
All really cool stuff. The community team totally nailed that presentation. I highly recommend that you watch it at least 4 times. And I think the thing they showed off, I just remembered another cool new feature. The thing they showed off that I know all the toy box artists like gasped when they showed it was the Sky Changer now works great, where before you couldn't pick what sky you would change to if you hit a trigger or went into a certain area, and now that's all programmable. And I know a lot of people out there that were trying to do that kept asking, why can't I do this, or can I do this? Now you can in 2.0.
Yeah. Speaking of which, a question, I'm going to throw this straight to you. Question coming from Captain Will. I like the name. He watched the stream and noticed a lot of new Creativa toys. There's a lot of new Creativa toys. I think the number was like 79 or something like that. Pirate, are these new Creativa toys, were they easy to work with?
Yeah, I thought they were, and like I showed in the presentation, you can go to a description if you don't know what this Creativa toy might do, and it'll help you out there when you're building.
Yeah, that's one thing. I really do think that they did a much improved job of making these pieces easier to understand. There was so much discovery required for the first one, and this one they really did a great job of just adding text and adding little tips and tricks to help get these easier to understand. So I would agree with that too, even though I didn't actually get to play with them. A follow-up question on that.
The other cool thing is that, like, the cameras and some of the other Creativa toys, you can make it so that they're invisible when you don't have the wand. Because I know in a couple of my toy boxes where I've used the camera, it's just a big clunky camera that you happen to see there, and you're like, what is that? Now you can make it seamless that you don't see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like the cameras. I think that's going to open up quite a few doors that I really, really can't wait to see. Another one. It's kind of dovetailing on that. Is it easier to build in this toy box? I mean, just overall, is it just easier to work with?
I would say so, because with the timeline that we had to build those 15 toy boxes, they all came out really great.
Yeah, one thing that I can kind of say about that, I'm not an accomplished toy box artist, and I'm just not very good in there. I'm not very creative, and they've done some amazing things to really, and I'm actually curious your take on this, Lloyd. They've done some amazing things to really help people. So you have these creators that will build stuff for you, but then you also have these templates that you can use to kind of do a lot of the heavy lifting, but not only that, just to inspire you to give you ideas to build.
Yeah, for me, the creators are the most exciting thing for me. I've built a lot of toy boxes with my kids, and it basically it comes down to us placing a big square, and then we place a Scrooge McDuck money bin, and then we place a pirate ship, and we place a couple other track pieces and a couple cars and the ghost horse, and then we go have fun. And it would be nice if I could just drop some people down and they would flesh out the rest of the level, so we can just keep having fun while the world's kind of getting built up around us.
If some of those, like, trees that would take the tree houses and things like that would take you hours to build by yourself, like, put one of those in and then just go to work. You don't even have to pay them.
That's great. Great.
You get to save your time. I mean, you can pretty much just put them in there and go do something else and come back and have a whole full toy box to play with.
That's too funny.
and then just correct whatever you don't like that they did.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of creating a whole city, and then you can just go and place doors on things that you want and add statues here and I don't know, fire escapes there. That's pretty awesome. I can just imagine some good hide and seek games that we're gonna have, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yep, I totally agree. And I think you brought up a great point, Pirate. The fact that you can actually edit these pieces, so they're built for you, but then you can go in and actually change things about them is really cool too.
Actually, one of my 1.0 toy boxes that I built surrounding Ghostbusters, I got kind of lazy on it, and I didn't want to build the city that surrounds like Doofenshmirtz Incorporated and the Marshmallow Man. So I'm waiting for those city builders to just build the city for me so I can complete that one.
That's awesome. Can't wait to see that too. Cool. All right. Let's see if we can get through some of these other questions. We're running late. So Joseph, long time, Crystal Perry, how does the credit system work? I heard it was in-game currency. Can you expand on that? Great question. I didn't actually get to play this, but you do have the ability to kind of edit what is available in what kind of money is given out. So there's different sparks. Some give you health. Some give you experience, and some give you I think some of that currency that you're referring to. But I didn't get any experience. I don't know if you did, Pirate.
No, not really.
Cool. All right. Little Tiger's asking, when enemies are spawning, is it smooth? And 10.0, you know how when enemy was coming, or you knew when an enemy was coming because of the lag. I think that was improved. I don't. Yeah. Did you notice anything? I noticed a lot of like transitions or animations were a lot smoother this time around. I think the bandwidth allowed for that. I don't know if it's kind of the same thing, but it's making me think of something else. You can one thing that's really kind of neat is that your resource meter actually has different. Oh no, it looks like we lost the stream.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see if it shuts down on us. Forgive us if you can still hear us. I'm going to pretend like you can still hear us and continue on with the show because we're at least recording it. So Jose is responding. He said it's a currency earned by regular play when you can use. That's the one you can use to buy toys. So it doesn't look like currency is available in the traditional sense of spends. So going to actually stop the stream and restart and see what happens. So what I was saying is that the resource meter will actually tell you what's taking up your resources. So is AI taking up your resources? Is block pieces taking up your resources? And how is it affecting it? Is it affecting frame rate? Will it affect network play and lag and everything else? So back up. Sweet. So I think we're almost done here. Last question. Pikachu asked, can there be Hulks in the Agents of Smash playsets and items? Well, we can't answer that, but thanks for asking. That's going to pretty much wrap up this week's show. We're sitting at a little over an hour and a half. So yeah, I don't know. I can't say anything but positive things about the summit. Someone did ask if there's going to be another Toy Box Summit. I don't know, but I would not be surprised if there was going to be another one. It seemed like it was received really, really well. So, yeah, there's conversation in the chat. No, the fan trick will no longer work. So, Pirate, do you have anything else you want to say about the summit, about anyone you met before we let you go, or anything else?
No, it was a really great experience, a dream come true. I think it was great for the people that attended as well for the people that watched online, and great. I think everybody won with this summit. I think they should do it every year.
Yeah, totally agree. I've a few last minute thanks, and I'm no idea if they watch the show, but if they do, I do want to make sure I say thanks. So I definitely want to thank John Blackburn and John Vignacchi for talking with me. I want to thank. I want to thank Chad Liddell. I want to thank all of the Toy Box designers. You guys rock. All of the Toy Box artists. I want to thank Scott and Sunny from Disney PR, and also, Scott and Sunny. They were awesome, and they helped me out quite a bit. I want to thank Brian Nelson. He talked to me for quite some time, which was really cool. And also, this is not just because they were talking to me, but also because they helped me so much while I was there and getting there. I want to thank a man by the name of Jason. I spoke with him for a few minutes. Jason Richardson, super, super awesome guy. He's one of the Toy Box people. I forget his title, but so cool. He actually recognized me from the show, and he knows the show. And so thanks for listening, Jason, and enjoy your time off. And lastly, I want to thank the forums, because I was there in partnership with them. Pirate was there as a community member, so he was there playing, I was there reporting, and without the forums I wouldn't have been there either. So hope I'm not forgetting anyone. Oh, I want to thank Bob Lowe too. Bob Lowe was really awesome.
Allison and Rachel
Yes.
were really good as host for all the Toy Box artists as well. They were all you could. We were trying to get Allison to not smile, but she's so chipper, it was impossible. So, and also she's not as short as she looks on Toy Box TV, because I told her that, because JV's just so tall. But yeah.
And they were there just about the entire time too, so they worked their tails off as well, because they were there manning the booth when people were signing in, and Allison was being a show woman the entire time as well. So great job, and thanks to them. And yeah, thanks to everyone. Forgive me if I forgot. It was a long weekend. I'm still sleep deprived. So Pirate Steven, I want to thank you for coming on the show and telling me your experience. People can find you at your Twitter at the Pirate Steven, or at DisneyInfinityFans.com, where you're known there as Pirate Steven. You are one of the moderators. So thanks for coming on tonight's show. We missed you, and was glad having you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, but we made right with that ship. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. Pirate, and I don't know, did we give you enough opportunities to say your tagline of Infinite Possibilities? If not, let me ask you a question. Is there going to be a special Disney playset?
The possibilities are infinite.
Good.
William.
Thank you. Mr. Lloyd Hansons, I'm so sorry. I appreciate you being there and adding your color commentary. People can find you at Dasme on Twitter, or vgpodcast.com, your video game podcasting network.
Correct. Thanks for having me on to fill up space in the middle of the frame, looking around and typing on my keyboard in silence. So I apologize. I had nothing to add, but I wasn't there and wish I was.
Well, yes. But you were chatting with the chat room, and so you were here.
And we're talking about NES games and other stuff. So it was a lot of fun. It was good.
Make sure you check out all your other shows. You have a Nintendo show, you have a general video game show, and you also have a Touch of Gaming show.
Exactly, yeah. Check out all the stuff we do at vgpodcast.com. Will and I do Derezzed together. There was a great podcast released just a couple days ago, or yesterday, I guess. And that was Will and Q from the chat room, Q Lanu in the chat room, basically filled in for me while I was on vacation. So I just finished listening to that today as well, and I really, really fully enjoyed it. So check out Derezzed if you want to learn about stuff that isn't just Disney Infinity, but I'm sure come Disney Infinity release day, that's all we're going to be talking about, Will. Yeah. And people will get sick of it.
Yep, absolutely, but that's okay.
That is...
That's good. Thanks to all of the community designers. Thanks Tyler, Jose, Stuart, Patrick, and Quinn. I think everyone except for Quinn is in the chat room. So thanks, guys. You might as well have been additional co-hosts because you were helping us answer questions and providing input. So thank you for that. Again, go check out DisneyInfinityFans.com for a Disney Infinity Fans forum. And I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thanks, everyone, for listening and watching. And until next time, we hope your week is filled with infinite possibilities.